Thanks for coming out to Wise Guys, and now let's get things going by bringing to the stage your opening act comedian and MC for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, the very funny Evan Connolly.
How's it going, everyone? You guys pumped up? Who's drinking tonight? Make some noise if you're drinking. Now, could somebody who didn't make any noise please give me a ride home? I'm kidding, I have a car. And until I appear in court, I have my license. I usually like to open up with a joke about climate change because it's an icebreaker. You know, do you guys know the rapper dash actor Ice Cube? I feel like how you feel about Ice Cube really depends on what generation you grew up in, right? What decade you grew up in. Like, who grew up in the 80s? Did anybody grow up in the 80s? You barely met Ice Cube. You know what I mean? You didn't meet him till late in that decade. And he was with friends. Who grew up in the 90s? Right? If you grew up in the 90s, your parents had to be advised that you were listening to Ice Cube. He was one of the hardest rappers around. Who grew up in the early 2000s? You know Ice Cube as the angry stepfather on road trips, right? And if you're growing up now, you think Ice Cube melted because of climate change. It's sad, he went from NWA to the EPA. Kidding. I am a fan of Ice Cube. He's my favorite cast member from the movie The Titanic. He was in that one, right? Oh no, that's Iceberg, his lawyer. Iceberg. My bad. So now that I've broken the ice, my name's Evan, or if you're an Instagram user, you may know me as Stairway to Evan. Or if you're a hot girl on Instagram, you may know me as Blocked User. Either one. I had this one girl on my Instagram, and she used to always share pictures of her boobs. All over her Instagram feed. But then she had a baby, and now she just shares pictures of the baby. If you just had a baby, I want to see your boobs now more than ever. Right? Put the baby away. I want to see the twins. But all in all, I'm happy that my cousin had the baby. It all worked out. Our family's close-knit like her sweaters. I don't know if you guys have seen this trend on Instagram that when people go on vacation, sometimes they post their boarding pass on their story, and then you see them post a picture of them on vacation, right? So if you see one of your friends on Instagram and they're on vacation, but they didn't post their boarding pass first, that's how you know they flew Spirit Airlines. You can shame them. Comment under their picture like, maybe you shouldn't be going on vacation. Maybe you should be picking up some extra shifts. Either one. You guys might recognize me. I'm hosting this new TV show. It's a crossover between The Bachelor and Hell's Kitchen. It's called The Spatula. Or you guys might also know me from my band. It's called LinkedIn Park. I just get a bunch of people off of LinkedIn and we meet in a park. We don't actually play any music because in the end it doesn't even matter. Or you might know me from my podcast, Dyslexic and Pissed. It's just an hour of me struggling to read. And I get pissed. Sometimes I have guests on my podcast, and then we both struggle to read and get pissed. You guys are probably asking, how do you become a guest on my podcast? The answer is simple. I email you, and if you respond, then you're not a guest on my podcast. Clearly, you're not dyslexic enough. Go join a book club, nerd. I've never been a nerd. When I was in high school, me and my friends used to make fun of all the other kids for riding the long bus. The short bus was for the smart kids. And the helmets were to protect our brains. The money makers. By show of tits, are there any girls in here? No? It's okay. I have a girlfriend. You guys don't know her because she goes to the WISEGUYS in Canada. You guys haven't heard of it. That's why she's not here. She has tattoos. Are there any girls with tattoos here? I like girls with tattoos because it shows that they're not afraid of commitment or small things poking them repetitively while they lie there, listening to shitty music. I also know she's a hard worker because I met her on an app called Grindr. Her clitoris is huge. And her ovaries just hang there. It's nuts. It's nuts. Okay, are you guys ready for a great show? Okay, let me go through the rundown right here. We have a clock over in the corner right there. Everybody's doing 3 minutes. Okay, so you can check on your time. The clock's gonna flash you when you have a minute left. It'll flash you at 30 seconds. It'll flash you at 10 seconds. And if you go over your time, I'll flash you. Because you're being a dick. Okay? Absolutely zero heckling tolerance. Have I made myself clear? If you want to heckle, there's a place for lease across the street. You can open up your own comedy club. Call it Hecklers. Let me know when I can do a weekend. I'm available. Okay, you guys might want to take out your calendars for this. This weekend, we have Jared Freed in the house. Jared Freed. Give it up for Jared Freed. Free the applause for Jared. This Monday, we have the roast battle hosted by TC. TC's also your goofy-looking bartender who's coming up to you with the wrong drink, probably. But make sure you give it up for your bartenders, TC and Teddy. Give it for WISEGUYS for hosting this place. Make sure to follow them on Instagram for all upcoming shows. Our first 3 comedians, so we're going to go by In the Hole, which is 2 away, On Deck, which is next, and Coming to the Stage. That was the shot clock. I just hit a 3-pointer. And so In the Hole right now is Mike Charette. On Deck is Lindsay Glazier. And coming up first will be Skippy Sprinkles. But really quick, Brian Shenanigan has a quick announcement for everybody. Give it up for Brian.